Hey, Raider Nation, how are you guys doing this evening? Welcome to another great episode of The Unfiltered Truth. I am your host, Phil Jones. Here with me, as always, my brother from another, Phil Robinson III, and we are joined by special guest, Raiders digital media reporter, Levi Edwards. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. College football's back. Got an NFL right around the corner. Uh, Certified lover boys out. It's a pretty good weekend. Not gonna lie.
See, somebody loved it. I wasn't the only one. They were like, "You capping?" No, I'm not. It was good.
No, they say it was better than Donda. Way better than Donda.
Uh, I'm kind of at the point now where a lot of my friends thought I was crazy for saying it was better than Donda. And everybody's been giving everything mixed reviews. I'm kind of at the point now where I realize art is subjective, so it's kind of you just like what you like and just keep on moving forward. So I like CLB. Donda was okay, but that's just my personal opinion.
No, definitely. I agree with you on that one. I was just like, Donda was just like, it didn't just sit right with me.
I think the problem is the fact that you put Donda up against all of his other discography.
Yeah.
I feel like Kanye's at a point. The one thing that I will credit about Kanye is the fact that he will always change who he is and he'll always go in a different direction. He's probably one of the most unpredictable artists that there has been and ever will be. And I will say I respect that about him. He takes risk, and definitely he's been taking a couple of risks on his past couple of albums, going in the more of the gospel kind of direction. So, but I respect it. He's an artist.
Yeah.
No, definitely puts on a hell of a show, no matter what it is he's doing.
Oh yeah.
So, that all being said, let's talk some Raiders, man. This defense so far through training camp and preseason has looked pretty solid. I mean, you're out there on the sideline, like, let's get your thoughts on them.
I think first and foremost, I would say the biggest adjustment to this Raiders defense has nothing to do with who's playing on the field. For starters, it all starts with Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley, great guy. He's brought in a really infectious energy to the defense. He's brought in a lot more of a simplistic way of playing. It's just you got to be fast and you got to get to the ball. And he's got a lot of guys that he's been putting in a good position to do that. And he is definitely someone that the defense has responded very well to. And so I feel like it was a great addition. Ron Miles, as well as the defensive backs coach who came with Bradley, he's also been a great addition as well. And he's really been another really good guy, another person that really is the defensive backs to respond well to. So really the changes in the defense, they signed all these free agents and they drafted all these players. But when it comes down to it, those are the two guys that have really changed the defense from inside. It's those two guys, and I'm really excited to see what they can cook up for these guys that they brought in, for these guys that they drafted, and for the guys that were already there. So I'm really excited.
So how much more disciplined does it look in practice? How much sharper are these guys when they go out there and are about their business?
I think the biggest thing that stood out to me, and I've said it a lot and I've written about it a lot, is the fact that they just seem like they always know what they're doing. And there's a lot of times last year where you watch the Raiders defense and you can see that the talent is there and the athleticism is there. They just didn't know what they were doing. They were just a lot of blown coverages. There were just a lot of misplays. There were just a lot of players not going through the right gaps. A lot of stuff like that just looked very messy at times, even though I saw the potential that was there. And so I wouldn't say they look I wouldn't say they look sharper. I would just say that they actually know what they're doing. It seems like they all have a very good knowledge of the playbook and that they are able to effectively perform it. And of course, it doesn't matter who you are and how great your defense is. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And that's just with anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. But at least the Raiders are in the right places at the right times. And most of the time, they're never doing anything that's just like out of whack. They're pretty much, they know where to be and they know how to get there.
That's something that I love. It feels good. It feels good to hear that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hype them up too much because we got 17 games ahead of us. But I like what I've seen, especially in comparison to what I saw last year. And I came in during like such a very bizarre time. I feel like the past 2 years for all of us has been very crazy. But things are starting to get a lot more normal for me just in life, just with this job. And I'm really looking forward to rolling out this season.
Definitely. Now, one person on defense that has really well, I will put it like this: how has Darius Philon looked to you?
Great. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. He's looked great. I'm gonna be for real. He's probably been one of the bigger surprises of anyone, because when the Raiders signed him, I just kind of thought it was one of those things where, okay, he played with Bradley. He's a Bradley guy. Bring him in, kind of see what he has left in the tank, and go from there. That's kind of what I thought. Same thing I thought with Roger Teamer. You know what I mean? Just Bradley guy. Doing it as a favor. He knows the defense. Just bring him and see what he can do. And both of those guys, Teamer and Philon, have definitely proven themselves to not just be guys who know the defense, but they look good. They know where to be. Philon is he's a hilarious guy, and I got to give him some love because he's from Mobile, so I got to give love to anybody from Bama. So that's just how we roll. So he's looked great. And he's very quick and very strong. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a lot of snaps in the interior pass rush this season.
What about Quentin Jefferson? We've heard about him, and then he kind of got lost in the shuffle. I don't want to say that he got lost in the shuffle, but we just don't hear about him so much anymore.
He's consistent. Definitely one of the more consistent players on the team. He comes in. Another really great guy, really comes in, is about his business, and I'm telling you, that's that 3 technique tackle that's still so up in the air. Not just for, I don't know where the team stands, but from what I've seen, you can literally put Philon, Jefferson, Thomas, or even McCoy at that position to start. I could not tell you for the life of me who's going to start that 3 technique tackle going into week 1, because all 4 of those guys have looked really good. And honestly, it's really just kind of a pick and choose kind of situation. I know McCoy, they'll probably put McCoy a little bit more at nose alongside Jonathan Hankins. But honestly, any 4 of those guys could really be the starting 3 technique tackle week 1. They've just all have looked very good. And I don't think really any of them have they just all have done, and it's hard just because I would say one stands out over the other, but Jefferson's looked good. I really like Jefferson a lot.
So basically that little rotation right there could cause major problems to a lot of opponents going into the season.
Most definitely. You also have to remember that Cleveland might get in there a little bit too. He's a defensive end, and that's where he'll primarily be at. But I wouldn't be surprised, on a 3rd down situation, or they put him in there too. He can. I think he's one of the more versatile. He doesn't get enough love, and a lot of people call him a bust because he hasn't produced the stats that people expected him to at the number 4 pick. But he does his job. He goes in, and he can stop the run. He's one of the best run stoppers on the whole team. So I really like what I've seen from him too. So it will be a very nice rotation. And something that Gus Bradley has said time and time again this offseason, you cannot have enough pass rushers. And he made sure that he had as many pass rushers that he can get. And that defensive line, of course, was the Achilles heel of the team last year. And I just don't think that will be an issue this year. But once again, 17 games away. I'm not gonna throw out anything crazy. I feel good. The defensive line looks a little different.
that is very comforting to hear.
It definitely is, and
to have
a lot of folks in Raider Nation, they've been like, "Oh gosh, the defense! Oh no, the defense!" And then you've been just hearing nothing but positive news, and then hearing that right there, it's a good feeling. Like, wow, my defense is actually going to be something this year. I mean, we ain't going to jump and be crazy and say like they're going to be like the number one defense in the NFL or anything, but they're going to be a lot better than what they were the last couple of years.
That's what I can tell you. I really do truly believe that they will be better. That's really all I can say. I think they will be a lot better.
And I think that's all that a lot of folks want to hear, that they're going to be better and they're not going to be sitting where they were last year. Now,
I think the biggest.
Oh, go on, finish.
I was just gonna say, I think really the biggest thing behind the defense, and like, it's not. I know the defense had a lot of issues, but I think the biggest thing was the fact that there was just like a lack of veteran leadership on that unit, where you just had so many young guys, and I feel like it's a long season, and I feel the late season collapse that has happened over the past 2 seasons has a lot to do with it being such a young defense that needs that leadership, that needs that guidance. And now you have guys like McCoy who's on that team. You have guys who like Casey Hayward who's on that team. You have a lot of veteran pieces who won't let this young team collapse. They'll be able to be like, this is our goal, this is our mission, this is our destination, we need to get there, and be able to really rally those guys.
No, definitely. Now, this offense, the offensive line, and one thing, I used to play O-line, and that's my bread and butter. So, Andrade James, Alex Leatherwood, tell me a little bit about them so far, what you've seen.
What I can say is Alex Leatherwood still can't understand the hate. People jumped on the Raiders when they took him at 17, and he's looked like a number 17 pick so far in training camp. He's been healthy. He's looked consistent. He's definitely going to have to prove a lot, especially coming out of the gate. But he has a lot of guys around him who's going to be able to help him out. And I will be the first one to say, and I'll be honest with you, those two guys, those were my biggest, not concerns, I would say questions. I just honestly just didn't know how it was going to work out. I saw a lot of Leatherwood at Alabama, and I knew he was a stud at Bama, so I wasn't really as worried about that. I just kind of was like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. James was someone I was a lot more unfamiliar with just because he really hasn't taken too many snaps being behind Rodney Hudson. And so the one thing I'll say about Andrade James that I've really liked is how quick he is. He's really fast. He plays with really good speed for his size, and he gets off the ball really fast. And when you're a center and you are kind of one of the guys who's supposed to kind of direct things, you need someone who can think really fast and play really fast. And if I can say anything about Andrade James, it's that he plays really fast.
See, that's where I'm at. That was my main thing. When I played center, I had to make sure I had to get everybody set. I needed to call out certain things for the adjustment on the line. And that was my main thing. Like, that's what I'm really looking for him. And I believe he can get it done. Especially for someone that's been behind Rodney Hudson since his rookie year.
Yeah, 2 years. And now he's going to his third.
So for someone like him, been able to just like study the whole entire time, and then having, in my opinion, I don't care what anybody say, one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL in Tom Cable, I feel like he's going to get the job done. I know a lot of people were like skeptical. You see all these articles and reports saying that, oh yeah, we probably got him ranked last. I'm not even going to say that, because if you're getting all the help and support around him, he's going to get it done.
I agree. Most definitely.
So I have a question for you. We've heard a ton of hyperbole, and I know that you can't tell us everything, but how has Brian Edwards looked to you?
I had to laugh. I caught a lot of hate. I caught a lot of hate a couple of weeks ago because I said something about I made like a Randy Moss comparison, just because I said he was mossing people at practice, and I just John Gruden said that he was looking like T.O., and so I just kind of chimed in. I was like, well, he's looking more like Randy to me. He's just going out here and he's just catching over people's head and just high pointing and dominating and just creating separation. And I just said that because he's been having a really good training camp, and that blew up. And once again, I'm not trying to give any sort of over the top expectations for anyone, because that's the problem. I feel like that's the issue in the first place, is the fact that you had so many people that put these super dramatic expectations on Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards last year as rookies, who were about to be the wideouts and thought that they were about to be the next, be the next best thing ever, the best thing since sliced bread. And they had no training camp. They're rookies. They didn't play football for maybe like 8-9 months because of a pandemic that prevented them from being able to play football. And so like Henry Ruggs went from having played in went from being in the bowl game in like January to not having played a single game until September.
Yeah,
because of a pandemic, and a lot of people just kind of look at CeeDee Lamb and what he did, and look at Justin Jefferson and what he did, and Judy, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, if these guys are doing it, then why isn't Ruggs doing it? Why isn't Edwards doing it? And I just think I feel like that's very unfair, especially for guys that have literally been in the league for a year. And so, what I really like about Edwards and Ruggs is they just kind of seem like it hasn't really affected them. If anything, it's pushed them to be better. They're just kind of like, you know what, that was last year. It happened. It's in the past. It's over with. Let's keep it going. And they've been playing like it. They just look a lot more mature. They look a lot more about business. So, like I said, I'm not gonna compare Brian Edwards to anybody except Brian Edwards. And Brian Edwards is a good football player with great size, great speed. Looking forward to seeing him.
So am I.
Yeah.
So am I. We've heard nothing but good things, and I'm anxious to see it. He didn't get a chance to really showcase a lot of his abilities last year, even with the playing time that he did have. So I just want to see it. I want to be.
Let me give you guys a quick stat. Even despite the limited amount of catches Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs got last year, they both averaged over 16 yards a catch. So I don't know what that tells you.
Explosive plays. When it's in your hands, it's explosive.
So yeah, definitely excited.
Now, Peyton Barber taking over for the number 3 spot right here. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
He produced in Tampa. He's a veteran. He knows what it takes to win. He's been in the league for a while. He can impart wisdom not only on those practice squad guys and Emmons and Regis, but he can also impart wisdom on Jacobs as well, being a guy that's been in the league for a minute. And Jacobs, despite how great and talented he is, people fail to realize that he's still only 23 years old. So you need to have guys who can just kind of help you get through the ebbs and flows of the NFL. And Jacobs, he's definitely going to take a leap. He was voted team captain this year. So I'm really excited for that because I feel like he is really a great leader from that offense. But Barber definitely will bring a level of veteran leadership and presence to that running back room. The same kind of thing that Theo Riddick was able to bring before he retired.
Okay.
I feel that Peyton Barber will fulfill that role just as well. And he also has some gas left in the tank as well. So it'll be really good to see what he can do.
Oh, that's real. You know what? We've been talking all Raiders, but you working for them, as their digital media reporter. Tell us about it.
Honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I remember my supervisor. One of the first things he said to me after I came on and I came out to Vegas and I was looking for apartments, is we were just talking, and this was like still in the middle of the pandemic in August, and he told me, if you can get through this season, everything's downhill from here. If you can handle what is about to come at you throughout this season, you'll be stronger from it. And I definitely would say that I've become a lot stronger from it, and I feel like I'm at a very good place where I'm really starting to take pride in my work. And I think what's so great, I'd say, about working for the Raiders organization is it really is a big team atmosphere. I have a really good relationship with my coworkers, from the people who are in our social media department, who you see putting up tweets and putting up posts, to the people who are publishing our press conferences on our YouTube, to the people that are filming on field, and our photographers and our PR and all those guys. I feel like we work very well as a team, and we all do truly, genuinely like each other. And I really enjoy going into work. And that's something that I've come to realize just over time. Is just when you have a job where you actually really enjoy going into work, where you don't like hate it, like that's a blessing. It really is a true blessing. So I don't take it for granted. I won't ever take it for granted. And I definitely say the good days have far, far outweighed the bad days.
Nah, that's real. That is absolutely real, man.
Most definitely. So
I was like, man, nobody asked you. Like, everybody always want to ask you about what's going on the field, what's doing this, what's doing that. I'm like, man, let's ask about you, man.
The best life out there in Vegas, yeah. or is it a little different because you've lived out there for a couple years now, and the hustle and bustle is kind of war. Well, you didn't really get the hustle and bustle because of the pandemic, but you've been out there for a while now. So, what's regular life out there like?
It's a cool place, not literally. It's actually literally it's really hot. I guess metaphorically, it's a really cool place. A lot of cool stuff to do. It's a little different just because being a local is a lot different than being a tourist. I would definitely say. Where I live in a suburb outside of Vegas, and it's a very tame, very calm place. It's hilarious because literally, if you drove around where I lived, you would never expect that it was anywhere close to what you see in movies and what you see on television. Like, it's just completely different. So it's really calm out here, really peaceful, and that's something that I really have definitely enjoyed. And of course, if you want to have a good time, you have the Strip, and you have so many other great things that you can do. So I really definitely have enjoyed out here. I've just kind of kept it calm and been about my business, and really just been trying to perfect my craft. But it's one hell of a spot, I'll tell you that. It's a great place to live. Even better place if you're a tourist, because it's essentially like a catered tourist to tourist. But I don't know. I've enjoyed it a lot more than I ever thought I would. I definitely will say that.
No, that's real. And you got your hands full this year. I mean, you're gonna have the Pro Bowl, and then going into the following year, you're gonna have the draft there. And
no, actually, we get both this year. It's Pro Bowl and draft back to back. So
yeah,
those are two things. It's crazy. I would have never thought I'd be able to cover that, in the same year this early in my career. So I'm really excited. It's just kind of like things will always keep on moving and moving. And I think that's the big thing, kind of like jumping back to the former question about what is it like living in Las Vegas, is I love how much Vegas has really started to truly become a sports town. It's when you think about Vegas, you think about gambling and you think about drinking and you think about all of the crazy stuff that the city entails. But it's so much more than that. It's so much community here. And so many people have really done a great job of getting behind the Golden Knights. People are behind the Aces. Right. They just got to the WNBA Finals, and they have the reigning MVP, Asia Wilson, and who I've also had the chance to interview. And she's a great person, great player. And they've gotten behind the Raiders. And so over the span of the last 4 years, you get 3 professional sports teams and – 3 professional, and the city's just done a great job of getting behind all of these teams, and it's just so great to see. And I know that if the Raiders have a successful season, the outpouring of love and support from this city is going to be phenomenal. And it was already great with an 8-8 season. So if the Raiders take that next jump and really get to the playoffs and really have a great season, Vegas is going to turn upside down with the Raiders. And you have the Aces' success, and the Golden Knights are coming off of a conference finals appearance. Like it's about to be lit when it comes to sports. Like every sports book and every casino is about to be packed out. You have watch parties everywhere. You got pool parties everywhere. The sports is literally about to be on the next level here in Vegas.
I believe it, man. I mean, and like we were saying, like this whole year, just because I was in the Zoom call with you with Tom Flores for the Hall of Fame.
I remember that, yeah,
and it's just been Raiders nonstop. Like we just taking over. I just love it.
Definitely a lot of great things happening in the organization. A lot of things to look forward to and be excited about, just in terms of Woodson and Flores going in. Hopefully we get Branch in next year.
Yeah.
That would be great. So just a lot of positive things. I'm most excited about this season and what this team has to offer, and how fans are going to love Allegiant, just because this will be our first couple of regular season games at the stadium, because no one could be there last season. It is a phenomenal facility. It's beautiful. It fits the Raiders perfectly, just in terms of the vibe and just in terms of the atmosphere. So I'm really excited for fans to be able to have that experience pretty soon.
No, that's definitely real. And I think just having more and more positive things go down the road for this season, like we said, like Hall of Fame, and then you're starting to hear what's going on with the team, and that defense is starting to look better than what it did. You look at the offense, and then 2021 is starting to shape up pretty good. Now, I have someone that's asking me, has Josh Jacobs looked a lot faster than he has in the past 2 seasons?
He looks like he's in a little better shape, I would say. It's just kind of hard to make an evaluation like that, because Josh Jacobs has always been very great and very explosive since he's been at Bama. But yeah, he definitely looks like he's in a little better shape, I would say. He's looking a little quicker. But once again, like he's been one of the top 100 players in the NFL, his rookie and second season. And so he already proven that he is great. So, of course, if you were talking to Josh Jacobs, he could probably point out 5-6 things that he feels like he needs to get better at. But I'm not going to do that. I feel like he has already looked like he was pretty good, and he looks about the same to me now, honestly. So, yeah, he looks like he's improved, but honestly, Josh Jacobs is not one who needs a lot of room for improvement.
No, absolutely. Josh Jacobs' work on the field speaks for itself,
Most definitely.
Phil?
No, I think that we've taken up a lot of this man's time. He's got places to be. It's a Saturday night. I don't want to. We don't want to overstay our welcome. You know how it is.
No.
I'd like to have you back. You're a very personable fellow, strapping young lad. The information is cut above. But
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, all you guys are doing is interrupting some nice quality time with me, my bed, and Hulu. That's really all you guys are doing right now. So, but I appreciate you guys having me on, and I really do appreciate the work that you two do, and I feel like without the pun of the title of the podcast, Unfiltered Truth, you guys both being named Phil, I feel like that's genius. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys from afar, and I really appreciate you guys having me on. And I know you guys are excited. I know we probably don't have a lot more time to talk about it, but I know you guys are excited for All In.
Oh yes.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. I cannot wait for Punk to come back.
Yeah, no. I kind of been I've been a part-time wrestling fan since Shawn Michaels was my favorite wrestler all time. So ever since he got retired by Taker, I've been a part-time fan. And so CM Punk coming back, it's exciting. I definitely say so. Definitely is exciting enough to have made me become intrigued and see what's going on. So I'm really excited to see what he can do and what he brings to the company. And word on the street is he's got a DB coming in after him. So, very good time to be a professional wrestling fan, I must say.
Yeah.
No, I as a whole overall, I just like what they're doing in AEW much better than what they're doing with WWF, and it's actually forced Vince to start scrambling. He squashed a couple champs. Now he's bringing Brock back to challenge Lesnar and try to steal back Paul Heyman. So, some of the problems that I have with WWE is it's all rehashed and recycled and some of the same stuff over and over again. And you look at AEW, and it's all fresh. It's all people that hungry wrestlers that want to get out there and make it happen and just showcase their abilities and make a name for themselves.
Yeah. I'll definitely say a lot of stuff is definitely unhashed. I'd say my only complaint with WWE would definitely have to be the fact that you have like two really good. They have about two or three really solid storylines that catch people's attention, and then everything else is basically just kind of like essentially throwaway television. Right. You have Roman, who's doing his thing, and then you have Bianca Belair who's doing her thing, and then outside of that, it's just kind of like it's just on. I'll give a little credit to Bobby Lashley too. Bobby's been looking good, and he's been a good champion. But honestly, outside of those three storylines, it's not worth watching. And so AEW's been doing a really good job of kind of essentially becoming what TNA was for a split minute, back in the early 2010s, late 2000s. They're kind of starting to have a little bit more of that vibe and be fresh. And they have a lot of money behind them. They've got a really good TV deal behind them, so they have every single asset in place to succeed. So definitely not a competition, I would say, but I feel like they're a very good alternative.
No, they're gaining ground, they're not competitive yet, but they're gaining ground for sure. They're on the right track as long as they keep doing what they're doing and continuing to compile talent. Because it looks like a lot of unhappy wrestlers are all jumping ship and coming to AEW.
I think one of their bigger gets that's not talked about, and I don't know what his new name is, but the guy who is like engaged to Charlotte Flair. You know what I'm talking about? On Andrade or
Andrade?
Andrade.
Yeah.
Andrade's a star. I like him a lot. I feel like he was misused, and I feel like he was highly misused in WWE. And honestly, if I feel like he had the potential to kind of be like that next kind of Eddie Guerrero kind of character, and I just feel like it was kind of misused. So I'm excited to see what he can do in AEW.
Good knowledge, actually. Good knowledge. I was who's the guy that I wanted to see? It wasn't Punk. Braveheart. We'll come back to that later. but yeah, it's just I love it. I enjoy watching it. It brings me back almost to the Monday Night Wars way back in that might be a little bit before your time. You know, I'm kind of old, but
I'm a what's that era? I'm a
Attitude Era.
Not Attitude Era, but what did they coin it as now? I think the Ruthless Aggression. I think that's what they coined it as. Yeah, I'm a Ruthless Aggression guy. I was like, basically, when I started wrestling, that was like when Randy Orton was still like doing his Legend Killer stick, and he was just going around RKO and whoever, and he was ruthless. I think that's the one thing that I miss about old wrestling is just like really good heels, you know?
Yeah.
Like that really, like, you know, all the heels now, it's just kind of like you respect, like they're you know too much about who people are now.
Right.
And so it's just kind of like you respect them for being as hated as they are and for who their character is. But like back in the 2000s, like people really hated Randy Orton and people like genuinely hated Edge and people genuinely hated The Miz. And now you just got all these heels and it's just kind of like, you know, you're supposed to hate them. But you're supposed to hate Bobby Lashley, but you don't. Like you're supposed to hate Roman, but but he's gotten more popular since he turned. So it's just like it's not the same at all.
Yeah, I was more of the Attitude Era as well. Shoot, I had Mankind. I had Shawn Michaels,
Acolytes,
The Undertaker as well, bro. You know what's wild? I literally found the whole action figure set.
You know what? I actually used to have a whole bunch of action figures, and I actually gave them all away to my little cousin.
Oh man, brother.
It was like, have you ever seen Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
It's like a Toy Story 3 moment, like at the end where like he's giving away all of his like old toys to that girl. That was basically like when I got to college, I just gave all of my stuff away to my little cousin, and so he still has all that stuff now. I don't know if he still has it anymore. He's like about to be in high school now, but he's still a huge wrestling fan. So I'm glad that he's getting better use out of it now than I probably am.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Man, hey, one thing I gotta ask you, cause I'm gonna be out in Vegas next weekend, and
so we will be.
Where is the best spot to eat at, man?
I was trying not to ask that question, but
you know I had to.
I wasn't gonna be that guy, but
there's a lot of good spots
outside of the strip. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Outside of the strip. There's a really good soul food place. I can't remember the name of it, but I've had a couple of my coworkers tell me how like good it is. There's a couple of fast food places that are really good that I enjoy. I really like Roberto's Taco Shop a lot. I'm not sure if you're looking for something like local, Napoli's is a really good pizza chain that I really like, and I feel like they have really good pizza. There's a place that I really like. There's the Memory Thai. It's a kind of like a shady, like hole in the wall Thai restaurant that I always DoorDash, and the Memory Thai is phenomenal. I love Memory Thai.
Okay,
so those are like my go-tos. Of course, you got all the other touristy stuff. I mean, like don't know if you guys are already on the West Coast. You have In-N-Out and you have Dutch Brothers and all that kind of stuff. So that's what that is what it is. But there's a Mediterranean place that I really love that's across the street from headquarters. And I can't remember what the name of that is, but that's really good. There's a lot of good food out here. Like I gained about 25 pounds once I first moved here, and it was like in the middle of the pandemic, and I'm still trying to either lose that weight or just transfer that weight over into a muscle mass.
Yeah.
One of the two. Still trying to figure out how that's going to work, but no, I ate a lot when I first got here. So you will definitely not lack for good food options. Literally, just
if you're trying to work on that weight loss or workout, man, you need to either get with Deuce or you need to get with D'Anthony.
D'Anthony's a big guy.
Yeah,
I was literally I see D'Anthony and Deuce time to time, and they're on it. But
D'Anthony gave me some tips for my weight loss, and it's been a help.
Yeah, most definitely.
But you said Roberto's Tacos.
Roberto's Tacos. That's my go-to Mexican spot.
Okay.
Here's another good one because I'm pretty sure this is also a Vegas-only chain. Capriotti's. Capriotti's or Capriotti's, however you want to pronounce it. Sandwich shop. Capriotti's sandwich shop. A1. And get the Bobby. Go to Capriotti's sandwich shop. Get the Bobby. It's basically like it's like a Thanksgiving meal in a sandwich.
No.
I'm being for real. It's a Thanksgiving meal in a sandwich. The Bobby at Capriotti's.
The Bobby. Not like Bobby Hill. Okay, so you said Capriotti's.
The Bobby. Bobbie. And I usually just get the grilled Italian. That's just kind of like my go-to. A lot more on the tame side, but the Bobby, like, that's their specialty, and they stack it up, and they got like turkey and cranberry sauce and dressing and all. Like, it's literally like a Thanksgiving meal in a sandwich. And there's a lot of people that have an acquired taste, and I know a couple of people that it might be too much for them, but for me personally, I think it slaps. But that's just me.
All right, I got that written down.
Yeah, out here saving lives, brother, doing the Lord's work. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
And I do.
Oh, man. But I know you ready to get some rest because I know you've been on your grind all week, and I know you ready to pass out. So
I really am. Oh, yeah.
Levi, I appreciate you joining us tonight. Our fans appreciate you tuning in with us tonight. Tell them where they can find you on Twitter.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Levi Edwards, THE, Levi Edwards, the one and only. That's where you can go and find me at. And I appreciate you guys' times. Appreciate you, Phil.
Right on.
All right, now. Because real talk, Phil, it looks like we're out of time.
I got nothing else. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I got beer to drink. I got more football to watch.
Right?
Nothing. I gotta pay attention to that.
I'm gonna catch the rest of this LSU UCLA game and get some good sleep. Enjoy the rest of my weekend. So
all right. So hey, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can find us on YouTube. Subscribe to the Unfiltered Truth page. You can recap this show. We'll have it uploaded on Spotify. We'll be on Google Play Podcasts, iTunes. I always used to joke, Telemundo, that it's going to happen sooner or later. But other than that, you guys take care. God bless. Be safe this holiday weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, all right?
And don't do nothing stupid.
Exactly.
Because the judge won't be in until Tuesday.
That's facts. All right, you guys. Y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We're out.